Yeah, he said I gotta bring her to him because she cool with him. Like he was able to do that little minor surgery um with no problem. She didn't snip at him or nothing. So no, no. Yeah, and he's sweet. He's really sweet. Yeah. She like out west. I think she bougie like Soleil. She like that West Clinic, but that look like a damn hotel. Who? Oh Jesus! He ain't never been back. That's what he tell me. She ain't never bring him back. She ain't never bring him back. So whatever he get, he get. You don't even know if that dog alive. You talking? Hey Sean, what's happening? We ready to roll? Mm-mm, mm-mm. Uh, Right now. Bye. All right, here we go.
This is Star 106.5 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Time is far gone when the nations stop freedom mind, freedom mind. It shows on the airwaves, not freedom mind. Since the ever die, you won't find not freedom mind. From the ghetto to the office, hustlers to the sky. From the fuse to fatherland, all the freedom of time. I got to freedom of mind. The freedom you time. I got to freedom of mind. The freedom you it's about that time. I got freedom of mind. It's about that time. I got freedom of mind. It's about that time. I got freedom of mind. It's about that time. I got freedom of mind.
Star 106 hits a pleasant Monday. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your Monday edition, your motivational Monday edition of Free Your Mind. Of course, we are powered by City of Hope, formerly Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Thank you to Pinder Tile. Kalik, the Bear of the Bahamas. Thank you to the Cleveland Clinic. KFC's got us this hour. They're all about that $5 KFC crunchy snack. I got to say a big, big thank you to Solomon's, and it's all about savings and the snackathon in full effect, making sure that every child goes back to school with snacks this school year. So you can donate at the registers, you can donate cash, or you can simply donate your Solomon's points at the register. And of course, thank you to Pinder Tile. Good to be in your company. Trust you all had a wonderful weekend. It was good to have Coach in studio with me on Wednesday. That was a pleasant surprise. And now we're back to the screen, but it's all good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you any which way by any medium necessary.
I know, Empress. Well, I do try to pop in. You notice that, though? I'm on a roll for popping in once I'm on the island.
Yeah, but there's no telling when you're going to pop in again, man. They're too far and few between.
I know the truth. Yeah. Okay. I know the other date, but right now that's a little ways off. But man, I'm excited about today's show because here's the deal. We know that there are a lot of married people out there, Empress, and there are a lot of married people wanting to get married. And then the question is, what are advice you should listen to, like golden advice? Because some advice ain't good advice.
Hold on, I texted someone to tell them, some people that I
Yeah.
know who need to hear this. Yeah.
Listen, hey,
Now,
Empress, some
it's
advice
It's
ain't good advice.
amazing. It's amazing that you have a lot of marriages like new or fairly new. Like they're not lasting the way they used to now. I'm not saying that those that lasted the decades are necessarily happily married. There's a difference between being married and still married
Right.
and being happily married. Like you genuinely still like the person.
Listen,
You
yeah.
enjoy breathing the same air that they do in the same room.
Yes.
You actually still sleep in the same bed.
Right.
You watch the news together. You share a joke. I mean, there are a lot of people who can't do that, but
Right.
still boast about being married. Now, I
Right.
think today's lesson is more about trying to keep the camaraderie
Yep.
in the relationship,
Yep.
keep the honey in the moon, as you would say.
Yep.
And do it successfully, because like I said, I'm hearing more and more stories of divorce,
Yep.
or people who just staying in it for fill in the blank reason here.
Yep. Yep.
The children's sake, the church,
Yep.
the benefits. In some cases, I know one lady married to a prison officer, and she's like, she's staying just because of the benefits that she gets. The fact that he's an officer. And I'm like, wow. So where's the love? In my Black Eyed Peas voice, I trying to figure out where is the love. And
Yeah.
it seems like nobody really thinks it necessary anymore to be in love. People are marrying for a number of reasons and not necessarily love
Yeah.
being one of them.
Totally
Hence
agree
why
with
they
you.
don't last.
Why they don't last and why the numbers are down. The numbers are down that people aren't marrying like they used to.
Mhm.
The numbers are down because a lot of people are thinking, you know what, it doesn't work. And it really does work. But what they don't teach us is it takes work.
Oh, yeah. There's the wedding. And then right after the wedding, the job begins. That was your orientation. The
Yeah.
wedding is the orientation, is where you hear what's expected, huh?
Yeah.
For rich or for poor, all of the
Yeah.
vows. That's the orientation. Ooh, get them, girl. Ooh, you hear that?
Yeah, that's the orientation. So now here's the deal, Empress. Getting married is almost like buying a car, right? When you signing a paper and you're looking at your car on the floor, a new car too, you're like, ooh, I can't wait. But then watch this, after about 6 months, and they tell you about the service costs, and if that windshield crack, what it costs.
I was just about to say, or just one scrape, and it devalues, and you don't have the same feeling you did when you first drove it off the lot.
What?
Hallelujah.
Yes. Yeah. And so we're going to talk about ways to enhance the experience, to keep that honey in the moon, to keep that, what we call an enriched marriage. I know, here's the deal, Empress. I had the opportunity to preach while I was on the island. And one of the things I'm saying in this season,
I got to say big shouts out to, is he bishop now? Terrence.
I know he's pastor for sure. I don't
All right,
know.
so
if he's
Pastor
bishop.
Terrence Forbes. I think
Yeah.
he's a bishop, I almost sure here, unless my husband ordained him as bishop, and that's just a title. I don't know.
Right?
But nevertheless, Terrence Forbes.
Yes, I was able to be at his church yesterday, and I was also at Living Waters. But watch this, Empress. Yesterday, what resonated with me, and you know how I try to talk on your show, and that is, listen, I want to be the full manifestation of what I'm talking about. I don't want to just talk this.
Action.
So I won't be action. So when I talk about these best marriage advice, I know there are a ton of advice, and some of them I'm old enough, and I was married before to know some of them are crap. Some of them don't work. The description that is being clearly portrayed out there, like this one, we keep bringing this one back. Happy wife, happy life. That ain't true. I don't believe that. That ain't true. Happy spouse, happy house. That's the one I'm going for, right? And then there's just so much. So What I found to be true, though, Empress, is what we're about to talk about across the board. Everybody agrees if we can comply to all of these are going to be marriage advices that really enhance your relationship. Now, that don't mean these ain't just sound good. But if someone says, I'm doing all of these, I'm like, hats off to you. Now, every now and again, you could be the one trying to do all of these, and you could be married to a knucklehead. Somebody who ain't equally meeting you at your reach in regards to what you're trying to practice. It could be one-sided. Rarely, but I think it could be one-sided.
All right, let's roll.
Number one, when I think about best marriage advice, I've talked to a few different people. This is what came to the forefront, not in this order, but these are the ones that was given. Number one, choose love always. Choose love always, which is, watch this, even in moments when you find it hard for each other to choose love, love is a commitment, not a feeling. Because some people, Empress, got married under a feeling. You see? Some people got married under a feeling, and here's the deal. We know if you've lived long enough, feelings are like this. They are like roller coasters. They're hot and cold, they're up and down. So number one, always, listen, choose love always. Now, here's the deal. Love is not a feeling. It's a commitment. And that's the reason why the vows, Empress, that's why the vow says for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, through sick. I told my wife the other day, I say, hey, listen, man, if in the event something go wrong with me, listen, please be gentle with me when you take care of me. Don't be, because some people mean, Empress. Some people just disgusting, because here's the deal. That's not what you married, but now that's what you've got.
That's it.
Now you hear that again?
You're mad.
Initially married, but that's what you got. So now you got to bathe me. You know what I mean? You got to clean my butt, right? People are, oh my God, I can't believe that. What you mean? You until death do us part.
See, people don't examine these things, to the core. It's just surface, Yes, I do. You ain't really listen. Some of them ain't even listening to the pastor. They just want to get to the reception and turn up.
And get to the hotel room.
Talk
to get it the legal way.
Woo!
So
this would be a good time to reintroduce Love's twin sister, Lust. Okay, all right, warrior of wisdom.
Oh Lord, right? So watch this. Always choose love. Number two, watch this. Prioritize time together. Prioritize time together. Make time for your spouse a top priority. Let me tell you what I found. And I like going, Empress. I like going, man. I'm a goer, right? And I found that you can get so busy that your marriage becomes secondary. Sometimes even further down the ladder. And what happens is that gives room to the devil.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So when you say find time, you talking about quote unquote a date night.
We're talking, watch this, we're talking date night, we're talking finding creative ways to just invest in your relationship. I talk about, like, my wife and I do the walking together. Some people exercise together. Some people say, hey, they cook together. Some people do chores around the house together. One is ironing and putting on hangers. The other one's folding and putting in the drawer. I mean, some choose to drive together for certain things that it will work itself out so that they can have time together. So here's the deal. You have to choose to go ahead and say, you know what? It's 168 hours within a week. I demand a lot from this woman, or I demand a lot from this man, but let me make sure I'm giving back value in regards to heart connection. Because let me tell you something. If you don't water a plant, after a while, it's going to die.
Unless it's a cactus.
And even cactus, after a while, some women are like cactus, but they can hold out for the longest.
Yeah.
But even cactus needs water at some point. It needs water somewhere. Watch this. Some people relationship, they ain't realize they married like a mutt, right? And you could treat a mutt any kind of way, it still stays in your yard. But listen, once somebody feed that dog elsewhere, dog eat your lunch.
Dog eat your lunch.
That dog gone.
Let me read this real quick. We're going to take a quick break. Thank you, Smith, AJ. But spending time together is spending time together. Some people be in the same house doing things, but they're not really spending time together, says AJ.
Yeah.
And that's real. That
Yeah.
simply means we breathe in the same oxygen. We under the same roof. But are we, in the true sense of the word, spending time together? Are we doing something collaboratively? Are we doing it?
What you saying, now let me say this real quick. I saw a couple, I knew them for a long time. They've been together for a bit, and they were doing something that it was an active activity on the outside. But boy, when I stopped them for a moment, one looked like, you couldn't bear a smile. I was like, hey, trying to crack it. And some people, they so in a bad place that they can't laugh no more. They can't, there's just their demeanor.
Straight.
What dog that has that demeanor that makes you look scared of them without even Pit. Yeah. Now when you meet a chick who got that Pit look, like just always
Yeah.
That's what the deal was. And so the dude put me aside. He said, man, just pray for us if you're just going through a difficult time. And I realized you got to do the work before you get in that bad place. Because boy, let me tell you something. The Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence. Because sometimes when you get in that bad place, sometimes it's very, very difficult, if not impossible, to get out of it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break on that one, Coach. We got our Eye in the Sky traffic report. Stay tuned. More tips coming your way right here on your Motivational Monday. Coach Ricardo Miller right here on the Star.
First Avenue local traffic around the province, and there are some busy.
Even just buy a family game. Sit down, play together. Why people don't let tricks off for kids? People don't play games no more. Nobody have time to play a game.
Hey, Empress, the wife and I, we play dominoes by ourselves.
Cause y'all different. Y'all just, I don't know what to say about y'all.
We played dominoes. I said, listen, and then I had to teach her Bahamian dominoes, and now she got a little scared because she know how to read them numbers. You know what I mean?
Jason, what you saying? A lot of people don't know how to bond. They just together to say they together. Some people share the same last name, and that's pretty much where it stops.
But the truth is, Empress, some people were never taught how to bond. They came out of a home where there was no example. They were raised to watch this. To commit to a relationship, but not how to give to the relationship what we call a healthy practice.
And then what they saw at home was no example. So, some people we just expect that you should know. Like you should know.
I've heard that.
Some people don't know they left from their right. And as old as they be, they still doing this.
Yes.
So if they didn't even know they left from their right, they sure don't know how to love.
Right.
Coexisting. Yeah, that's it. They under the same roof, Jason, and they just that's why the pandemic was so serious, because now they were forced to spend time, and you realize you even like the person.
Yeah.
You were glad to get away in the morning to go to work, but there's no work.
Yep.
Miller, there has to be somewhere on that list. If there's anyone, I'll read this out loud. Hold on.
Cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
Your home for today's hits and unforgettable favorite. This is Star 106.
Star 106 Hits, welcome back. Free your mind on a Motivational Monday. Coach Ricardo Miller joining me today as we discuss, tips on how to maintain a healthy marriage. Now, Warrior Wisdom says, Miller, there has to be somewhere on that list. If there's anyone who your partner ain't comfortable with, don't be afraid to let them go. Like, let the people know the minute my husband or wife start feeling some way about you, you gone.
Cool.
So you better stay on my spouse's best side if you want to remain friends with me. Now, that's interesting that you say that, Warrior, because there are a lot of couples who I think are toiling with separation just based on friends, like wives don't like certain friends that the husband have, and he's saying, well, he ain't do me nothing or she ain't do me nothing, so I can't just don't stop and talk to them. But I'm your wife and I expect you to stop talking. Well, that's a topic all by itself. We could deal with that another day, Coach. we could be there for a minute. All right, so let's move on to the list.
It's interesting that Warrior said that, because number 3 is, watch this, surround yourself with support. Number
What
3.
support now? Hold on.
Watch this. My support for that, my support statement with that: surround yourself with support. Keep company with friends who strengthen your marriage. Distance yourself from those who might tempt you to compromise your character, those who you find weaken the bond of your marriage. So here's the deal. Even the Bible tells you, leave mother and father and cleave to your spouse. That's what it says. So your spouse don't even come first when it comes to your parents. Doesn't come first when it comes to your spouse. But come on, Empress. Somebody say you better start talking for Hey, what's this, Empress?
That's my mother, right?
Huh?
That's my mother.
Listen, and when I met Karen, we were talking about this, because you even talked to me about this on the show when I used the term I'm a mama's boy, right? And then she said, let's talk about describe the whole concept of mama's boy. And then he's like, man, you don't really know mama's boy. Because the truth is, my mother doesn't disrespect my relationship, has never disrespected my relationship or tried to force her way into being above my wife. But at the same time, anybody who is with me knows I love my mother. I mean, but I understand the process of respecting my home and my wife, and this is her house, And so here's the deal. You also have to assess the friends, and you'd be like, I think maturity would say, this is me. This is Ricardo Miller thinking. I think, Empress, my wife may not have all friends that I gel with, and I may have friends she doesn't always gel with. So she could say, hey, listen, you going on with that crew? I don't have to go. Or vice versa. I'm saying, oh, you going on with I don't have to go. Right? And we found ourselves sometimes that I was like, hey, it's okay. I don't have to be around those two right there.
So it's not that you expect her to cut them off and vice versa then?
No, it ain't expect to cut them off, because here's the deal, man. There are some people, Empress, who've really been your people for a long time. They just seem like, it's like, what's this? She don't eat seafood, but she don't tell me not to eat snapper. Even
because she couldn't.
You know what I said. Right. So there are things she likes that ain't my thing. There are some things I like that ain't her thing. And I think sometimes that falls with people. Empress, everybody ain't your cup of tea. Everybody ain't your thing. And that don't mean it can't be your husband's thing. So in other words, here's the deal. You say, hey, he could say, man, I'm stopping for some pig feet. You be like, I will never eat pig feet. That's okay. He could eat his pig feet over there. Just don't offer you none. And just don't try to force that whole concept of you eating pig feet, because you ain't going to do it, right? And I think a lot of times we don't mature ourselves when it comes to people, especially if the person isn't violating the relationship. We ain't talking about somebody who is backbiting you or trying to hurt the relationship. You just don't like them for some reason. How many of y'all know there are people who sometimes you just don't
Hey, back it up. There's sometimes our intuition is tell us exactly how the thing go. Now don't play with the woman's intuition now.
Or man.
Y'all ain't get no intuition. No.
Hey, sometimes I feel if a brother comes to the point where he said, but I do it, he got to go. But that's definitely
that's just your ego, because he's taller than you, or he's thicker than you or something. That's ego. That's not intuition.
So you think women have it definitely 100, but men don't?
We'll talk about that another day too. Write it down. Let's continue.
Number 3, watch this. Number 4 now. We're number 4. Laugh together. Laugh together. Here's
Thank
the
you,
deal.
Jason. Discernment. Okay, yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. Watch this. Make laughter the soundtrack of your marriage. Let me say it again. Make laughter the soundtrack of your marriage. share joyful moments, and even at tough times. Here's the deal. I found that it really, if you can share jokes with your spouse, it enhances the relationship. If you all got stuff that you can mutually laugh about. I like improv. I like them comedy shows, and I like a good laugh. I really do like a good laugh. I didn't always do that, Empress. I was the fellow who go to the
face.
Come on, I go to the comedy show and I say, yeah, that way. He's funny, Empress, the fellas now. Yeah, he's funny. They don't even know how to listen.
Free up. Let's free up.
And then here's the deal. Unfortunately, when I was in that space, when I did laugh, it was almost mentally off because you laugh because you bust a fella in the head. But you see how I bust a fella in his head?
Oh God, no, sir.
That's the laugh we used to laugh. We can laugh at things like that. But when you go to a comedy show and you know what I mean, you want to hang out with your children. I was watching Empress. Every time I take pictures with fellas who I meet on, I say, hey, let's get the shot. You see them. They do the full
screw face.
Smile in their face. You got to pray for people who got spouses and they ain't smiling with their kids. They ain't smiling in the marriage, man. What's up with that?
Again, it goes back to what you always talk about, that facade of toughness. You can't let them see you sweat. You gotta be forward tough at all times.
So unhealthy.
It is.
So unhealthy. It is. And it hurts the children.
Jason said, hey, unhappy. AJ says, practice not going to bed angry, upset. Don't put your wife or husband out of the room itself. Never know how quickly an ant or roach may move on your team. Oh, so man.
So true. So it says, number 5, watch this. Team up in arguments. When I team up in arguments, and what I mean by that is, in every disagreement, remember that you are on the same team. There is no winner or losers, okay? Either we win together or we lose together. Work as a team to find solutions. So here's the deal. I ain't coming for you. You ain't coming for me, but we disagreeing right now. We got to figure out how to come to a happy place or a healthy place. As a matter of fact, there are sometimes we can agree to disagree and just accept the fact that it really doesn't make that much of a difference, so we could actually leave that alone. That's maturity. That's
growing people business right now.
Right? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Watch this. Number 6. Watch this. Be each other's strength. Number 6, be each other's strength. In other words, a strong marriage isn't about being strong. At the same time, it is about taking turns being strong for each other when one of you feel weak. And that's what I'm talking about. Because the truth is sometimes both of y'all aren't feeling down at the same time. So you got to cover her or she got to cover you, and then you all come through that thing together. This is things people can work on. We're not saying people are there. I'm saying that's what my wife and I are looking at. We're like, okay, are we there? Is this what we're incorporating in our marriage to bring about not just a look like we happy? Because, you can have that external factor looking like it's figured out. And that time, it's just for the pictures.
Yeah.
It's just for the ground, right? And so be each other's strength. Now, here's this. Number 7, value intimacy. Value.
That one needs its own time. I'm going to take a quick break right here. Free your mind. Motivational Monday. We're counting down. Yes, indeed. All the tips to a healthy marriage right here on The Star. Stay tuned.
Conditions shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care.
I said it before, nothing is sweeter than a couple who are on the same page. Imagine a woman going after a man and a man and a woman team upon her, and vice versa. A man going after a woman, and a woman and man team upon him. I saw a man going after a woman he knew was married. So she told her husband about it, and they both used him for the funds. No, sir. No, sir. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
No, sir.
No, sir. Go ahead. Rumble with him. Just bring back that cash. So we could finish.
I believe people do that.
They do.
I believe people do that.
That's a different level. That's a different level of Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
Nothing but hits. Star 106.5 FM.
Star 106 hits. Welcome back. Free your mind on a motivational Monday. Coach Ricardo Miller with me. We're looking at those tips to a healthy marriage. And I'd even go down the ledge and say, a healthy and a happy relationship leading to possible marriage. All right. So you got to practice these things first. All right, Coach, number what? 7?
Number 7, value intimacy. Prioritize what happens in the bedroom. While a strong marriage takes more than sex, it's nearly impossible to build a strong marriage without it. So some people
Wait. Say that again.
So watch this. While a strong marriage takes more than sex.
Hold on. I'm recording this for somebody.
Yeah. While a strong marriage takes more than sex, it's nearly impossible to build a strong marriage without it. So
wait. So let's talk about the man who is impotent, or the man who has erectile dysfunction and expects his wife to remain faithful. You're saying to me, without intimacy, and don't tell me about substitutes, right? You're saying it's hard for them to build?
No, I'm saying those guys they can get help though. And here's one of the problems. One of the problems is guys won't go to a doctor and say, hey, listen, boy, homeboy down there, he ain't functioning like he used to function. Or he never even learned how to function. But now I got me a woman who want me to function right. I need some help. How can I get help without external factors? I don't need anything else added to my bedroom other than how can I become
functioning.
Functional. Yeah. But you know how many dudes don't talk about it, and then they have frustrating women on the side who's like, hey bro, I'm at my prime. As a matter of fact, some women, their appetite increases with time. Just as some guys' appetite increases with time. So if you end up with someone who is impotent and don't want to address it, Houston, we got a problem.
Or what about the ones that address it, right? Mm-hmm. And say to the woman, well, almost as if to say, I've been to the doctor, but there's nothing they can do, which I find hard to believe in this day and age.
Correct.
Whereas nothing can be done, absolutely nothing.
Listen, a lot of guys won't go to that extent to really go the extra mile because...
Okay, so how is it that you expect a woman to be comfortable in a marriage if you're not functioning, and you expect her to remain faithful? Some men, like in the beginning of a lot of relationships, where they'll buy you everything and hoping that it makes you comfortable. Yeah. But it's the intangible things that really matter, right? There are men out there who expect a woman to remain faithful, and they watch your every move. They want you to report in so that they feel comfortable within themselves, depriving you of the simple pleasures of life.
Well, this goes back to one of the things that I often talk about, which is difficult conversations. You got to talk about your top priorities. One of the top priorities is when you get into a relationship is what's your appetite level? Hey, my appetite level is 4 times a week. Somebody said my appetite level is 1 time a month. Don't marry somebody if your appetite is 4 times a week and theirs is once a month.
Oh boy.
What? Hold on. Watch this, Empress. Let me give you an example. I heard the fella told. No, I heard a lady said this. Watch this. She was dating the dude. She's dating the dude for a year. Both of them, they're non-church people. She said, but he ain't tried nothing. She was like, what in the world? Why after a year he ain't even try? So now she's wondering what's going on. As soon as she got a little aggressive to try to, like to be a little
Take charge, yeah.
Yeah, because he's at his prime. He's about 55. She said, man, listen, he disconnected. And she said, I don't know what happened. I said, man, the brother probably can't function and don't know how to talk to you.
Real. Another topic for another day again. You see that?
Yeah. That's real stuff, though. But here's the deal. Value intimacy. If one person needs intimacy this way, you gotta. It's called love language.
That's a good question. Let me just to reiterate. AJ says, well, you might not be able to have sex. So absent the ability of having sex, what does he use to compensate the satisfaction that he can't have or give? A lot of persons, as you know, will find, they go to Toys R Us, right, to find that happy medium. But again, it's like eating something that's natural versus unnatural. Some people are totally organic. They only want what's real.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's not a great compromise. I don't think it's fair for somebody to say, well, you know what, I expect you not to because I can't. And like you say, Coach, if they're not going to go to the 9 or 10 yards to make it happen, what is that saying about that person?
But more so, even before the reality of finding out that you have these broad, wide differences, it is having the conversation before you make the covenant agreement. And this is where I have the problem with people. I'm like, did you talk about it, Empress, over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years? One of the subjects I keep telling you no one wants to talk about in the Bahamas is sex addiction. And sex addiction is real, okay? And a lot of people aren't talking about appetite interest difference, sexual appetite differences. In other words, one person is 3 days a week interested, and another person is 1 time a month interested. That's a real scenario. So now, as you just mentioned, you said once a month, the person said, well, listen, I could probably figure out how to go all natural once a month and figure out how to get some engagement, but I ain't got nothing more than once a month. The other person is saying, boy, once a month, I want all natural 3, 4 times a week. And so, Houston, we got a problem.
I'm going to read this one real quick. Warrior says, a person who knows they're physically unable to have sex, do you think they'd have insecurities knowing their inability to perform?
Yes.
In their mind may always be the mindset that your partner could be cheating because you can't do anything for them. Exactly. What men like that do is try to keep a woman comfortable based on her other needs, making sure she have a nice house, a nice car, nice handbag, shoes, trips, cologne, perfume, you name it, everything else to kind of deflect his inability to physically please her. And then some will want to, like I say, visit your neighborhood Toys R Us.
Yep. And
some women just ain't on that run.
But going back, you would find that most people who say they have a problem, watch it. Her girlfriends know that he ain't satisfying her more than he knows it. Most of the time, guys, he just he could sense there is some disappointment, and he know he ain't delivering, but he ain't going there.
So no conversation about how she feels about his inability or her saying to him what it is she need. But what happens in the case of somebody who got into, like you said, for better or worse, they're in the marriage. Let's say he was functioning in the beginning, and during the course of the marriage, she became dysfunctional, right? And nothing can be done or nothing has been done. how do you expect her to remain faithful? Or
Well,
is she wrong for how do you have that conversation?
No, I really do think we have to establish that marriage needs to be more than sex. I really do believe that because
Yeah, but you said that you can't your relationship can't flourish without it.
no, I said no, right? Especially if that's that person high priority need.
I don't care if it's not a high priority. It got to prioritize itself sometime.
Right? So this is what I'm saying. You choose to marry a guy and you're 28 and he's 30 and you all are doing fine and he gets in an accident and it shuts him down. It literally shuts him down. I'm saying you all need to, when we talk about premarital counseling, when we talk about having difficult conversations, I'm talking about you get to the point where you say, hey, listen, I ain't gonna always be able to deliver. Who are you getting committed to? Or vice versa. Okay? So if you marrying a dude and he got crazy appetite and then something happened to you or vice versa, it's gonna be an issue.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Because you're big and gung-ho on conversations. What saith you to a woman who already knew prior to and thought that she could deal with it because he's a good guy, right? He's a good guy, and she thought, at some point, but like you said, the appetite increases as you get older. And as she got older, she realized that, okay, I can't deal with this. What happens then?
Unfortunately, that case is like the person who said, I can change him. Well, listen, fella, tell you, listen, I never hit it before, and I didn't want to hit it the night of, and it's been 2 years later because I can't do nothing. But I thought you say you love me.
So is it a matter of falling out of love if now this person realizes that she needs it? She needs it. She thought she could deal without it. What do you say about her now that her innate nature is kicking in?
Y'all gonna have to get help. And I mean, any form of help that will bring peace and restoration.
This is the real order of the day for real. For real.
Listen, no, you got to get help. You got to get help. Help is available. Now, here's the deal. A lot of the help is what most people don't want to hear me or you mention. In other words, listen, guys, some woman can say, I'm not going to be able to do it. Some guys will say, this is the compromise that I can only do. Be it as it may, there needs to be some form of difficult conversation that breeds a end result, a solution, because this ain't working. Empress, I think this subject matter, I'm talking about pre-marriage. Did y'all talk about appetite? Did y'all talk about the how each other would like to be in the hokey pokey factors going on in the relationship over a long period of time?
Did we where are we now? Because we kind of went off course for a second, but
yeah.
Oh Lord, Letitia, I could just count on you. I could count on you for a good laugh, boy, I tell you. Wow, I can't even read that one right now. Go ahead, Coach.
Number 8.
But even that, Letitia, woman get tired of that, man. Tired.
After a while.
Yeah, man, that ain't gonna cut it.
After a while. Watch this. Number 8. That's why you need to know who you get into partnership with.
Topic for another day, because we'll be here all day. Let's go.
Number 8. Watch this. Give 100%, not 50-50. The whole thing, 50-50, that ain't real. Okay? Marriage isn't about splitting everything down the middle. Divorce is 50-50. Marriage is 100%, 100% with both parties giving their all. Okay? So that whole 50-50, that's not it. What I'm saying is both of us have to go all in. Both of us have to go. And that's part of describing what is all in for both parties. Because the guy's list of all in and the woman's list of all in sometimes can be two different things. But when we sit down, it's like Empress, it's like bringing your money together. And you say, okay, these are my desire. This is his desire. This is her desire. And we're about to do life together. Okay? Let's agree on the desires of how we're going to live moving forward. Number 9, give your best. Always your best. Here's the problem, Empress. There's something called familiarization. Like you become familiar. Okay? You get familiar with the other person and start slowing down. Okay? You start pulling back. You start not giving what you gave before.
I read it.
You
I
read
title
it?
it, Tisha. I title.
All right, let's go to number 10 and we're done. Okay? Embracing uniqueness. This one is a big one. Embracing uniqueness, learning from others, but resist comparing your marriage to someone else. Your spouse and your life is unique to you guys. Okay? Now, that marriages are unique. Empress, some people pressure for how they want their relationship to be. It's not really what they want, it's what they see others have. What they hear others have. In other words, boy, my girlfriend getting it all week and I ain't getting it but once a month. That's a problem. You don't even want it every day. You don't even want it like that. But because the talk around the water cooler is high, your appetite even ain't there like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
We got people who push. Some people are putting pressure on their relationship for something they don't even want.
True.
They care very little.
Real.
So I believe marriages need to embrace the uniqueness of the relationship. In other words, what my wife and I are about, a lot of people may not be about. So I'm not going to look at anybody else and say, okay, you see what everybody else is doing? That same statement right there, Empress, is hurting a lot of people's marriage. You see what everyone else is doing? You see how all these other married couples are doing? Come on, have you all sat down and established what you all want to be about so you could be different in the world of all of these people doing life on their terms?
Let's read this one quick. Warrior says, one thing I didn't hear in that list is listen. Woo! I didn't have to go any further. Go ahead.
Listen, Warrior, listen, man. My list is 22 and we ain't got time for it, okay? There's 22 things on this list and so many of them speak to just someone wanting the best for their marriage. At the very core, please know that it can work if you work it. Please know that some people signed up for something they didn't quite understand. Empress, you know what happens when you sign up for a car and you finance that bad boy and you go and turn it back in to say you don't want it because that ain't what you wanted? Guess what you do? You ruin your reputation with lenders. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? You ruin your reputation with lenders because you went ahead and signed up for something that you didn't really understand what you signed up for. And that's what a lot of people, so now there are people who are walking out of the relationship that didn't work because they got a bad rep now that simply says, it's like J-Lo, like J-Lo, like she.
I know, right?
Hey, watch this, Empress. Remember we talk about the different things women want? J-Lo marries for one of the things and then discover you don't have that one thing, then go find another person. And some people are like that. They are all into one thing and then they discover that it's many other things and they're not taking the time to read the fine print. She said it just now. She just said it. I just realized she just said they didn't take the time to read the fine print.
Yeah, she said it. Yeah, absolutely. So there you have it. We covered 10. You said there are 22.
There was 22. We're not going to go over those. You can't do it.
All right. There's always another day.
Yeah. We can do a part 2 on this because you had some subject that needs to be reintroduced as part of this deal. Because here's the deal. Best marriage advice says these advice will help your marriage to be enriched. But here's the deal. Some people aren't listening because they're hurting and they're frustrated because of their reality. But you could really turn in a car. You just got to be prepared to pay the consequences by having turned in the car that you signed up for. Mm-hmm. Really? Society don't like you when you turn in cars you sign up for in the business world. Mm-hmm. You see?
Well, there you have it. Read the fine print. Woo! Well, Coach, part 1 down. Thank you so much. We are out of time. I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in. Like, share. Definitely share for all of the people that could use some sound and unbiased advice. All right. Coach, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Yep.
Top of the hour, 5 o'clock. Get ready for it. He's in position. The one and only DJ AI. Top of the hour. Your drive at 5 comes your way right here on the Star.
For quality food at affordable prices, look no further.
Boy, Coach, that's a real situation, right? Because you would ask, did the person know prior to getting married? In some cases, no. Things happen along the way, like you say, bad accident, something happened, and then one is not able to perform anymore. What happens then? Versus going into it knowing that the man can't perform, but he's a nice dude, and you tell yourself that, you know what, I was doing without it for so long, I straight. I need it, man. I good, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the last relationship you was only getting it once a blue moon, right? So you went into it knowing that, you know what, it's okay. I used to not having it. But then age started to creep in, and you realize that, damn, I guess I really do need it. Like, I want it. I never used to want it then, but want it now. But this dude can't do nothing.
Yep.
Zero.
Yep.
Is she wrong for her body talking to her and her body telling her that she needs it? Like, is
Hey,
she
watch
wrong
it.
for signing up? The
You
question is she wrong for signing the contract?
She already signed the contract, so here's what she got to
She's
do. Watch
married.
it.
Yeah, she's married.
Hey, watch this, Empress. You ain't gonna like my answer. You ready for my answer?
Hold on, let me read. Many people say for sickness and health, and the richer for poor parts of the vow. So they ain't going to be there when you're sick, and they ain't sticking around when you're broke. All right, I'm ready for your answer.
My answer before I gotta go. Here's the deal. If that's what you're dealing with, you're going to have to accept the fact that that's what you're dealing with. Now, a lot of people don't want to accept the fact that, hey, you signed the contract. Okay, you signed the contract. Now this person is where it is.
So you can't say to the man, well, I thought I could do without it, but I can't. That's natural.
Which is, watch this. I thought I could do it without, I can't, but that's where the in-depth conversation needs to happen. Where
So what? Okay, so let's say they go to a doctor. Is either get help,
yep,
or do you know of any cases where he says, well, go do you, but just don't let me find out?
No, that ain't gonna happen.
Some people stay for things. Lord of mercy.
We talked about that before, but no, that's nobody can tell nobody they can go out and just have some kind of enjoyment. But the reality of it is, it happens a lot where one person have an interest and the other person doesn't have that same interest. And I really believe, because we have not been on it. Oh, watch this. This is what I was going to say. Suppress skill on her side is also available.
What you trying to suppress, dog?
I'm saying, just like he can't, watch this, Empress, he may can't raise from the dead, she could probably die in suppressing.
She could commit suicide.
She can go get help to suppress her drive.
Libido.
Yeah, that is out there. So just like, so he can't.
I must kill me because you dead. You got to be.
God. That's what I told you. I told you ain't gonna like. I told you ain't gonna like my answer.
Coach, you could talk full. Ain't no woman could do that. Y'all hear this? Coach say a woman must go get juck up injection or pill or whatever to kill her libido so that I could match your energy. No, bro. I know no woman who can do that.
It happens though, and it could happen. I'm just telling you that if they want to be legit, one could come up or the other one could come down. That's what I'm leaving it at.
I'm gonna ask a doctor. Let me see if I can get Fox on here Wednesday to find out if there are any cases that a man can't get help. Because I find it hard to believe in this 2024 a man can't get help.
There are situations I believe he can't get it. I got
see.
Bye. I'm out.
Oh, Letitia, I always could count on you for good.
I'm out.
Oh, me too. Oh, man.